when you involve money and time and losing this and when you bring in the loss part, that changes the entire scope of how, like, because again,
Right.
it's really easy to talk like, hey, why don't you just keep at it, right, bro? How can I keep at it when when this is at stake, or when that is at stake, when things are not, I need things to work out tomorrow. Sometimes it's that urgency behind things, right? So
Right.
I feel the
Right.
expectations always need to be in line, right? Then even failure, like even then the idea of failure becomes different. If I tell you, man, that I need to get this thing done tomorrow, right? And it's something that requires has taken people years to do, let's say, right? Then I
Right.
am setting myself up for failure. There is no denying that, right? So having clear expectations meant that this task, if I was to take up this task, it would require a couple of years of growth, right? It would require this much time for it to start showing fruit, right? I cannot plant a seed today and expect it to, give me fruit tomorrow. If that is my expectation,
Yeah. Blossom
yeah,
into a full
then I
tree.
am
Right.
setting up myself for failure. That's a given then. And we do that to ourselves
Right.
all the time, right? We do it all the time. So honestly, then that kind of brings us to a bigger, broader topic. And I don't know, like maybe we should get into a little bit that setting these expectations and having this balance in life, as you said, that man, what if this doesn't work out, then I lose this? Then work it out in a way that it gives you the time to make this better while you still keep something from the past with you that helps you in the present. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, hmm,
Right. Like a little safety net so you can
yeah.
push
So like
further.
if you, because even not having, like, if you need things to, like, if you need some things to grow in a certain field, whether we talk about workout, you need weights, whether we talk about reading books, you need books. Everything requires something to grow, right?
Right.
And if you cannot have access to those things, right, then how will you grow, right? And to have access of those things, you need something coming in, something already working for you, right? So like dark period in taking upon something is inevitable. The sooner you understand this, the like the easier the trip becomes, regardless of how successful you might be, right? If you take up
Right.
something new, you know that there will be a dip in the curve. There will be a dip in the curve. There is
Yeah.
no ifs or buts about it. Something that you were doing is going to slack because now you're giving time to something new, right? So, and the worst is when both dips happen at the same time, when you fail at the newer thing and when the old thing that you had that was working also takes a dip. That's where people break,
Right.
right? That's where a lot of people break.
Right.
But the understanding is that this is inevitable. This is part of the equation. This is part of the experience. Like growth, growth is like it's a straight line, right? You have to experience everything that comes on the way. There's no dodging. There's no shortcuts. It's just like whatever comes in order to move forward. You have to experience even these dips that we're talking about. I'm very sure every entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
right? Nobody thinks of something and tomorrow they're like, I did it. It takes the dark period is a very, very big probability of happening when you take up on something new, even if it's something easy, it's still a part of it. And the bigger the thing, the bigger the darker period and the bigger strength you need to overcome that. But if you already know that, if you've planned before that, then I know, man, these times will come and I will try to manage it this way and that way, then things become a little bit easier, right? So I know we digressed a little bit from the
Right.
failure to the planning and to having proper expectations, but that is a requirement of, uh, and why not give it a good example, Noman? Why not talk about a little bit of our journeys about stock investments and trading, right? What did we, right?
Oh yeah. That's always very interesting. But I wanted
Say,
to
say.
add something to sort of, well, not really add something to, but just sort of follow up because you mentioned this
Hmm.
dark period, right? And I think like this is one of the things that people mistake for failure, because when you're building something or you're working towards something, there comes this phase that there's a lot of struggle in that phase. There's a lot of like issues in that phase. There are a lot of things that you suddenly discover or you suddenly realize are wrong. And I feel like most people are quick to immediately label that as failure, without realizing that now they're actually deep into what they're working towards, and now they're seeing under the hood. Before, it was just sort of like shining the car on the outside, which is easy, it looks pretty shiny. Now you open up the hood and you see the oil stains, the grease stains, and you're trying to work through these problems, but you can't let it take away from all the work you've already done, right? This is also work that needs to be done, and I think it's a very important part of every journey that a lot of people miss. And there is this is a period of what I believe a lot of people incorrectly label as failure after failure after failure. I think it's just part of the journey. But sort of like coming back to your point, where talking about stocks, I think in my opinion, that has been for me personally the greatest sort of teacher of failure. I don't think, like, I mean, having done so many different things in my life, having tried so many different things in my life, and having failed at so many different things, I think the most I have ever learned about failure, the most I have ever taken away about failure has been through like investing. I think it teaches you things not just about sort of like how you as a person perceive failure, but how you as a person have the potential to evolve and handle failure.